My name is Ms. K and I'm a third grade teacher here at Beach Elementary School, and this is my first year teaching.
Do you have a pencil box or a crayon box? I'm never gonna remember this one.
I feel like it's kind of like every other year in the sense that it's like kids are just gonna be kids. Like whether they have a mask on or not, they're still gonna act like kids. But I think like this year we've asked a lot from students. It's a lot more individual work because they can't do team projects. It's asking them to be more responsible and more accountable for their own actions and their own behaviors than I think beforehand. Because now, like for when you wear a mask, you're wearing a mask to keep everybody safe. So they're taking that responsibility of, okay, I have to make sure I wear my mask so the person that sits next to me doesn't get sick. I feel like a lot of them, like they've taken that on with grace. Like they're just like, I'm just gonna wear it. This year has kind of felt kind of the same. Maybe that's my experience or how I've always run like a classroom is I always ask students to be responsible for their own work instead of just always doing group projects. Like group work is great, but I always want to see what they know. So I do a lot of, you can work in teams, but you have your own paper kind of thing. A lot of it is very much like kids taking responsibility for their own work, taking responsibility for their own actions kind of stuff. So a lot of them have taken that in stride. And I think that if we set the bar high and our expectations high for them, they'll try to reach them, they've always been like that, in my experience anyways.
1 through 5. If you have your art supplies, number 1 through 5. If you have your art supplies, go ahead and put it in the bucket.
Coming back basically felt like just having the first day of school all over again. It was a lot of making sure, okay, do all my kids have their supplies? Where are we putting their supplies? And just kind of going through that stuff like the first day of school. Also rearranging desks because they have not seen each other. So it's kind of like the first day of school and the fact that they have not seen each other in a long time, but at the same time, they are more excited.
Oh, this is my special.
Now I'm gonna have a second and third grade combo in my class. So on top of first year teacher, working through a pandemic, now I have second and third grade.
You guys are getting different numbers. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you do different ones, and then you're gonna check each other's work. Okay?
My kids are always like, Miss K, it's K-N-I-B-B, but K is silent. And I'm like, yes, but I have 4 teachers in my family. So Mr. and Mrs. and Professor Knibb have been taken, so we're just down to Miss K. I'm looking forward to, we have a dinosaur 2-week project. Apparently that's a big thing when you're 8. So we have that, and we're finishing a Native American project that we're finishing that they're super excited about finishing. So it's the history of Native Americans in Wichita and Kansas. So they're super excited about finishing some of these projects that we kind of got it started before we left, but had to kind of slow it down when we had actually gone remote because some things we can't do over the computer. I can show them how to save an image now. Like before they were like, I don't get it, it's not right clicking. And now I can go, I'm like, okay, actually press this button. So that's like one thing I do enjoy having them back for. Like you can actually show them, like model for them, where in some cases, like if you're showing them how to use something on the computer, you weren't able to model it, but because they can't see your keyboard and stuff.
What do we know about squares?
What's 5 times another square?
Some kids feel like they wanted to be back because I kind of asked them how they felt about it when we were online. Like, okay, what do you guys like? And a lot of my kids were like, well, I like just being around people. So a lot of them wanted to come back for the social part of it. For a lot of them, it was just a change of scenery. Some kids enjoyed it because they were like, they were just like, well, I get to take my time when I do my work. So when you're in the classroom, you're transitioning a lot, you're fast paced, you're like, we need to get this done now because we have other things in line. Some of those kids were like, it's a lot of constant transitioning and they would never get stuff done. So I had a lot of kids who they were able to take their time and get things done. And for them, it was a little easier. So I've gotten mixed reviews, especially from students on both of those.
No, we're not in that.
No, that kind of number. Well, if you can multiply.
Why does it look like an A?
I missed them. I do miss the mute button because the first day of school I got yelled at a lot. But I think a lot of them are used to yelling into the computer because the computer, like Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So now they're trying to yell at me and I'm like, why are we yelling? Like, I'm right here. So, and it's not like being mean, but they're just like so excited that they're just yelling. So I did miss them. I could do with the mute button though, that would be great. I think a lot of teachers would love to bring that back in. The diversity in my classroom at least is great. And I love that because they have so many different point of views And a lot of them have more real life experience than we give them credit for. Even though, yeah, you think, oh, they're 8, they don't know much. They know more than we give them credit for. When we talk about like empathy and stuff like that, they're way more gracious with us